Live from New York, it's Coffee with Lavender. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Hello, hello, hello. I've got to call a few people up and get them on here. Oh my, this is a day. It's most certainly a day. How's everybody doing? Huh? What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? Well, Beck's been here a couple minutes ago. Let me go over to the twatter. It'll be a good thing. Yeah, the little one's lonely. Oh my, oh my, oh my. See what we've got. Gotta see what we've got. Massages. Invite. Yeah, that's what we've got going. All right, now we're all set. We've got the get over there, you. Hey, Greg. Kitty. How's the shadow kitty? Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. Yeah, I was in hospital last week, and getting onto the network from there was not the easiest thing in the world. It was not possible, let's put it that way. Gereste gata fustana da gerebetosto. Daddy's goes on the egg thing. Yes. Okay, you got that over there. I got all these egg things over here on the og thing. And then is there the cat? Yes. Oh my, oh my. So yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to replace my birth certificate. I may still have it, but I have no idea where it is. Deta pokorosta. Oh, who's there? Somebody's here.
Hello.
Hello.
And I've had to replace my birth certificate once before as well.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. Yeah, I think I remember you mentioning that.
No idea where it went.
Yeah, I have a feeling I have a feeling I still have it, but I have no idea where it is. It's in the stuff somewhere.
I don't remember it being that difficult of a process to have to replace it, so.
Yeah, I was looking it up, and it doesn't seem to be difficult in Ohio. So we'll see what we can do with that. And get that done, and then get the social security card replaced. And then I have to get my driver's license switched over to New York.
All the fun stuff.
Oh, yeah. I would much rather be at home, but what are you going to do? What you been up to?
Yeah, not good. Well, actually, quite a bit. Just playing games, reviewing movies. I bought myself a movie early birthday present, Bloody Mallory.
I've heard the title, but I have no idea of what it is or what it's about. Or
Sort of in the vein of it's a foreign film from France, and it's sort of in the vein of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, kind of over the top thing.
okay, then. Oh my! Oh my! Kitty, little kitty is affectionate. Что-то подає се девятине.
Playing around with a novel AI thing.
Okay. I think so, maybe.
I was thinking about maybe plugging my zombie story into it, and maybe it'll help me get through some of the writer's block on that.
Oh, that's what I needed to look up. Well, let me take care of one thing, and then I'll do the try to look up. There's this earworm going through me, and I cannot think of the title.
Hmm.
It's bugging the shit out of me.
Don't you hate when that happens?
Oh yeah. Let's see, what do we have over here? I think I sent her a link. So let's look at this her.
There was this character in the anime I was trying to remember. I can remember the look of the character, but I can't remember the name of the anime or the name of the character. And it's driving me up a wall. So if I came across and saw the character, I'd be like, "Oh, that's the one," but I can't look it up because I don't have any names to look up.
No. She took me in and gave me breakfast. Oh, it's called Down Under. Okay. All right. It's amazing how you can put a few words from the middle of a song into this thing, and it'll throw the whole thing back at you.
Yep. Also found another AI generator I've been playing around with.
Oh, moo.
That's where I got this image I'm using right now.
Okay, then.
It's called Desgo.
Oh no, this is horrible.
What?
Shadow Kitty says someone recently took Shadow from in front of my house, brought him to the SPCA thinking he was a stray. Spent the night in a cage, and I spent the night thinking he went off and died.
Oh, that is terrible.
That would not be good. No.
I've had that happen before, though.
Eek.
Is Shadow microchipped?
I don't know. Hey, Shadow Kitty, is Shadow microchipped? I mean, just the way the story's going down, it sounds like no, but you never
Well,
know.
I was supposed to be on a stream later today with Diesel's channel on veganism,
Hey, Beck.
but the vegan we had apparently backed out.
Oops.
Can't exactly do a show on veganism without a vegan, I think, considering the nature of the show. I know the people in our community don't like the guy, so.
Okay.
But,
I got to figure out what's going on. It seems like a bunch of my books disappeared. That can't be right.
yeah, that can happen with moving. Things can mysteriously disappear, even if you have a reputable mover.
Well, the moving is all done. It appears that it seems to me that they disappeared just over the last few days. Because things got rearranged in that downstairs area. So, one of Amiga's sons, I guess. But I don't know. I gotta look and I gotta see what's going on. I've got to take care of all that stuff.
Hmm.
Uh,
So what's
but
going on with you in this new arrangement here?
how do you mean?
Well, you said you've been lonely there too. So what's going on?
I'm always lonely. I'm just always lonely.
Always lonely.
Yep. Just shoot me. What, honey? There's this cat. I want to go home.
Well, yeah, maybe back
Hmm?
talking what Beck was saying. I'm streaming at 4 or 20. You want to come by and discuss? Sit mage. I'm vegan. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, well, if that show gets postponed, this gives me more time to gather my thoughts. I
Uh,
mean that quite. I mean that quite literally too. I actually take little notes down for a lot of these streams.
oh, I see. I see Kitty. Shadow Kitty. Okay. Yeah, it's always too little, too late, isn't it, hon?
Oh, let's go. He's chipped now. I have Molly is chipped. I actually need to contact them about getting some details on her profile. Never got around to doing that.
Okay, then.
The thing said, what you do is it has this field of describing the dog, and for that field to get filled in, you have to like call them up and describe it. I don't know why they do it that way, but
Oh, my. Yeah, because what I want to do is get the books loaded upstairs and get the books from that rented storage area.
yeah, I got a friend whose birthday is in 3 days.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, find out when they want to celebrate and what they want to do. I wonder what this thing does if I have no prompts. Yeah, just to generate scenery.
Si tatayo kada bedis toto mopetra dalla kita. Boo foo. Yeah, celebrate, dance to the music.
Yep, a friend who's gonna have a birthday pretty soon. Figure out when they're gonna celebrate.
Randy would like to know when.
Not quite sure yet. If it'll either be on their birthday in 3 days, or on the weekend when they have a day off from work.
Well, whatever is more convenient for stumbling home, right?
Yep. It's possible they decide to take off work the day of their birthday too. So who knows? Knowing them though, I doubt it.
Oh, what are you doing, kitty? Yeah, kitty's being a kitty.
Yeah. Polly was being extra Velcro yesterday.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Did not want to leave my side. I was almost getting a little worried about her the way she was. But she seemed okay. Took her out for a walk. She played, chased squirrels. So guess she just didn't want to be alone.
I don't know. Oh God. Ow, 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 ow.
You know, it hurts when you do that.
Everything hurts on me. Oh my, Shadow Kitty says, tomorrow will mark 30 years since I played with Connie Francis at Carnegie Hall.
Oh, that's interesting.
Whoa. Sounds sounds lewd.
How so?
Well, everything sounds lewd to me.
Yeah.
Oh God. I gotta get. I guess I have to get an appointment to get images taken because the images that were referred to the doctor were the wrong ones. They
Yeah.
were abdominal images.
Oh, you gotta love when that happens.
Oh God. Oh, what do we have?
Do we
It's
have anything?
amazing. Say again.
Do we have anything?
I don't have anything. No.
Well, I've got a lot. I started with a lot of nothing. I have most of it left.
I'm looking at this thing now. Um, Shadow Kitty mentioning it'll mark 30 years. Um, I'm still thinking that 30 years is a long time ago, and 30 years ago is what, 1993.
Sorry, I had to step away. Want to discuss it today, Major? Maybe. I was kind of gathering my thoughts on it.
Täällä koko JDV kipustonan tie ikärä.
So says the kitty.
Yes. Moo, 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 moo. Moo, 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 moo.
Oh, and it turns out that you are an AI, Diana. Because take a
I'm
look at
in
that. This is what the AI generated.
Moof, beef, beef.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you haven't heard, I moved movie night to Tuesdays. If you can try and make that.
So wait a minute. Is that the third time or fourth time that you've moved it?
Second.
Second. Okay.
Well, I kind of figured I'd end up having to move it around a little bit at first anyway. So, I mean, I was trying to figure out good times for it, and I've gotten basically shit for feedback. The poll I put out ended up being dead even on all days. Is on it.
I don't know. This the bufu. It almost looks like everybody on the side chat knows each other. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the charm of a small channel.
Yep.
Hmm. Do-do-do.
So we got the trees out there, and they're mostly still green.
Well, look at the trees. How could you say there isn't a god?
Oh, the one I really liked, that the male slimy bastard tried on me. Um, of course, there's a God. John Wayne said so.
They said that in seriously?
Yes.
Not just a joke? Oh boy.
Yeah, he was dead serious about that.
Damn.
I mean, yeah, there are a whole bunch of gods. There's a God for every believer. There, or at least one God for every believer.
Kitty using your microphone as a scratching post?
Mm-hmm. What, honey? What? Is you the cat? Oh my, there's this cat over here being a cat.
Hmm.
She's very good at that.
Cats usually are.
Oh man.
Though I have met some cats that try to be dogs.
Okay.
Not quite as successful.
And I was had by a cat who was very good at being a camp commandant. Oh God. Don't get old. Okay, just don't do it. Oh man, you're older than I thought you were. So I was taking you for being in your 20s.
She's doing the whole in heat thing again, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. She's being I feel like staking her outside and getting her knocked up.
You really want to risk having a litter of kittens, though?
Yeah, that's the problem. Well, I don't mind. I don't mind a house full of kittens. The only problem with it is the house full of kittens. Because I've had a house full of kittens, and it's pricey.
Yeah, it can be pricey.
I've had 16 at once.
Damn.
Yeah, when my two girls had litters. Toista te petrata kade kello kopustolta tojonne, kele betinje. Where is the egg thing here? Gotta find the egg thing. What we got? What we got on the egg thing here?
I don't know. What do we have? Oh. Beck wants a link to get in.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm trying to figure out where I am here.
Yeah, I'll send it.
To go to see.
There you go.
Taju korostu. Oh, God. Somebody shoot me, please.
Morphine, Thorazine. What would you prefer?
Well, morphine is good for the pain. Oh my. Thorazine is for psychotics.
So both.
May have a point there. Istan na teke parod ye te get sa. It's really, really full of poo poo. And it is so full of poo poo.
Where am I on this game? I was playing a game while I was sitting here. This is a little crappy Facebook game called Hero Wars.
I'll take your word for it.
That's where I'm at.
¿Para qué lejos está? Anda, para está. Anda.
Molly's bringing me some of her toys because she wants to play.
Oh boy.
And that was one of the things that was worrying me yesterday about her because she wasn't bringing me any of her toys throughout the day like she usually does. She was coming in and plopping herself down under my feet.
Moo. What you got on the egg thing? There's the egg thing. Oh, whoa.
Hello.
Hey.
How is you is?
Wait a minute. I can't hear you. Hold on. Settings issue.
Oh, God. So what's you up to, Beck?
I can hear you.
Hey.
Trying to follow in your footsteps, Diana.
Can't hear me?
No, that's not the point. The point is I have chronic kidney disease 3A.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Found out yesterday. I went and saw my doctor on Thursday. I did my blood work the same day and got my results and stuff and read my visit summary that she did after my labs were done. And yeah. So,
your other
I need to stay away from you. What, Mage?
So what, your other kidney's going kaput now?
Yeah, so 3A is basically lowered kidney function, lowered lifespan.
Oh, wow.
So I'm looking at somewhere between like 10 and 15 years. Could be 20 if I'm lucky. Could be dead at 62. Don't know yet. So that'll be fun. Yeah.
Well,
good for you, Nels. Play that music, buddy. I know you love that shit. I know that's your heart and soul. So I'm glad you're back to playing. So I got a job at FedEx 2 weeks ago and found that out and decided I'm frustrated with the driving job going well. It's very reliant on the people on the line doing their job right. And also good equipment that doesn't break down on the side of the highway, and you have to transfer all the packages into another truck at 9:30 in the morning when you should be starting to deliver already.
Well, that's always fun.
So I went into work yesterday. Here's a fun story. And they stack everything up behind your truck, and you have to sort it out, right? And I'm starting to sort shit, and I'm sorting shit, and I'm like, fuck this. So I said, I'm going to quit. And I gave the guy in charge my badge, and he just looked at me because he's not a supervisor. He's just kind of fills in on the weekends, on Saturday. So he just looks at me, and all the guys are like, no, dude, don't leave, man. Don't leave, give it another shot. And don't leave. And so this guy named Keith, he's one of the guys that trained me. He's an ex-CEO, so he knows how to talk to people. And he convinced me to come in on Monday morning and talk to the boss. So I called the supervisor, who is the boss's son or grandson. I think it's his grandson. And he's my main point of contact. So I tried to call him. I spoke to him later, told him what was going on, said, I'll come in Monday, we'll talk. And he's like, that's cool. But we'll do anything we can to help you. So they're really nice guys. And everybody so the building is FedEx. but he's a contractor and he has his own trucks. So he can't control how the building's being run. Now the equipment he can control, but not how the building's being run, and not the guys on the line that are supposed to be sorting packages properly. So he's kind of fucked on that part, right?
Mm.
So I thought about it over the weekend, and since I have now CKD and I can't do like laborious stuff anymore, I'm going to offer to work for him for about a month and help him get everything sorted and help his supervisor get on his feet, because he's only been a supervisor for a couple months and he's running around in circles and the trucks aren't being maintained properly. And I'm going to help him sort it all out and, write down all the problems with every truck, go over them with a fine tooth comb, inspect them. That's what I'm going to offer to do, and help that guy get going. Cause Jim has like 10 to 15 businesses. He can't spend all his time at the FedEx building. You know what I mean? So, I'm thinking that maybe we can work something out, and I can just like maybe work like 30 hours a week, help the guy in the morning, help the new drivers get settled, sort their packages, help them if they need anything, check trucks, that kind of thing. So I'm going to offer that to him tomorrow morning, and I'm just going to tell him the truth. Like, I got like 10 to 20 years to live, so I don't really fucking care right now. So, let's give this a shot. What do you think? And if he says no, then I'll just walk. But I don't want to burn the bridge with FedEx, because I plan on moving to Indiana, and I'm going to help Cosmic Kyle out and get him and his girlfriend on their feet in their own place and shit. And then, and there's like 15 minutes from where they live, there's a FedEx terminal. That's part of the reason I took the job to begin with. So I'm going to see if I can just work that out with him, do a notice with him, like a 1 month notice, and I'll help around the warehouse and do shit, and then see if he bites on it. Because, I've been a manager like 500 times. I can help that guy manage the drivers better, because the lead driver ain't doing shit. Lead driver is a lazy guy with a fucking attitude. And everybody else there is nice except for the lead driver. He's a dickhead. So, I don't know. It may come to nothing, or, he might bite on it. So. Yeah, so I've been trying to get into new lines of work, but nobody will hire me for anything that is like a desk job. I worked at Heather's medical office for a year. I've got other administrative experience, and they won't fucking hire me. And I think they're calling Heather's office, and the manager's talking shit about me. Because there's no other reason for them to not hire me. And if I find out she's doing it, I'm going to sue her, because she cannot do that. All she can say is, yeah, he worked here. Yes, he was dismissed. That's all she can say legally. So if anybody goes to get a job and someone's talking shit from a previous job and you find out, sue the previous job. It's illegal. They cannot defame you.
The only time I remember, my mom sued Taco Bell once, and she worked there a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was fired for eating on the job, but she has diabetes. She has to eat at certain times.
Yeah, you have to eat like every 2 hours, small portion of veggies, small portion of meat. Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she sued him. She won.
Good. She should have. She's working in a fucking restaurant, and they won't let her eat for what's it take 2 minutes to put little bit of food down your throat?
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah, well, that's like Friday when my truck broke down. They put me in another truck. That truck had a bunch of issues. I'm driving down the road and the mirrors are just moving. I have no tools.
Oh, jeez.
I can't do anything about it. I'm not going to stop somewhere and they should have gave me a good piece of equipment. And not only that, but the floor in the cab was not attached. And as you're driving, it's just lifting up in the air and pulling in diesel fumes and dust. And diesel fumes aren't really good to breathe.
No, they're not.
Yeah, no, it's not really healthy for you. When I got home, I had black shit in my nose. So, and all I could smell on myself and my clothes was diesel. So I know I was breathing it in. And it was 95 degrees out, and I had no AC. And I worked a 12-hour day. So when I came in the next morning exhausted and I couldn't sleep because my job wasn't getting done, even though it wasn't my fault, I put it on myself. And so I was up. I only slept like 4 hours Friday night because I was so, so frustrated and exhausted from the day before. And they know it's them. Like the first 3 days I was out on my own, I had, or 2 days, I had issues with the electronic equipment. I'm trying to use my phone for work. At the end of the day on Thursday, my equipment died again. And another guy who was doing a route close to me finished his route. I had to wait a total of an hour and 10 minutes for him. Hour and 10 minutes. So he could bring me his scanner so I could do my job. So it was just a lot of shit. And it's just too much, with all my PTSD and autism and ADD and everything mixed in.
And all the health issues on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, I come home Saturday and, I'm exhausted still. I'd only slept 4 hours. I came home. I drank some coffee. I smoked a fucking bowl, took a 4-hour nap, woke up and checked my shit. And I find out CKD. So,
Well, sounds like you're having a great day.
It can't get any better than this, Mage. Hey, you know what the good news is, though? The good news is I finally got my payouts from unemployment.
Yeah, that's good.
So if he says no, I can just leave and move to Indiana. So, yeah. So that's always an option. I mean, I gotta tear down my canopy and everything, but the worst I have to do is tear down my canopy, and I have some stuff like outside stuff stashed underneath my house. I have to find a spot for that somewhere. I'll just lay it on the floor and I'll fucking leave. Like that's all I need to do.
Okay.
Take down some stuff in my house and throw it on the bed for the drive. That's what I do.
Yeah, like I said, it's a plan.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I always have a backup plan, man. I'm not. Yeah. Oh,
I still haven't heard.
I'm just
anything.
I'm glad this shit didn't happen while I was on that Wellbutrin still.
Yeah.
Probably would have fucking committed suicide. I'm not kidding. I was bad, man. Yeah. So, but how you been, Mage? What's going on with you?
Not bad. I've been, like I said, I've been playing around with AI generating stuff just for kicks. Found one that was Desgo, and I've been playing around my novel AI thing. I was thinking about maybe plugging my zombie story into it, and maybe it'll help me get past the writer's block.
Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah. I'm stuck on a book myself right now, so I get it.
I've been stuck on the writer's block for like years now in that one story. I tried picking it back up during the pandemic, figuring out, okay, I've got all this stuff going on that basically would fit right into the story. I can use that. I tried to sit down and write, and like, no, this isn't coming out.
Well, my story is easier to write because it's about my family. Like my great grandparents coming over from Italy and starting there and building up. So right now I'm just kind of telling this story. There's not a lot of like human talking back and forth, just random things. And then as I get closer to this time period, I'll start doing it from I'll switch it over to a first person. I think is what I'm going to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
not
thinking
sure yet, but
yeah, I was thinking about maybe rewriting it into a first person as well. I've had, and I think a third person limited.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kind of toying. I was toying with maybe first person, seeing as the way that's designed is supposed to follow an individual throughout, like a chapter or two, until they meet up with the rest of the surviving group. And the surviving group acts as sort of a glue between all the chapters.
Yeah. Here's my forward. Tell me what you think. They walked back and forth, seemingly like robots, for no one spoke and all stared straight ahead. What was there to say? And yet there was too much to be said. The steady stream of boxes and furniture was constant. The last 2 weeks have been a blur of heartache and decisions that no group of people would want to make. A true test of the strength that was in each of them. Most families would be torn apart, not come together in unity. It was the history of their ancestors, where it all began, and the journeys they all had survived that gave them what they needed to handle a day like today. And then it goes into part 1.
Not bad.
Thank you. Yeah, so I have a couple chapters written already. I think I have 4. Part 4 is done.
I don't exactly have a full chapter written, but I have a lot of bits and pieces throughout the story. You know,
Yeah.
That's kind of how I usually write. Is I'll usually get an idea for like one part of the story, and I'll just write that, and then I'll try and figure out how to connect it all together.
Yeah. See, most people do outlines and stuff. That's not how my brain works. So what I do is I'll write some of it, and then I kind of go, okay, where am I going next? I go back and I reread it all, and then I add on to it. And then I go back and I reread it all. And I'm kind of obsessed. I'm overly obsessed with it when I start doing it. Because I spend so much time rereading it over and over again. I'm not writing a lot.
Yeah, that tends to be a big pitfall for people.
But I did it. I was cleaning out my emails, and I had emailed a copy of it to myself because I couldn't at the time. Well, now I can afford to pay for it, but I couldn't pay for a new Microsoft Office subscription, so I couldn't get into Microsoft Word. So I emailed it to myself, and I was reading it over last night, and I found a couple small errors. So it's good to reread it.
usually what usually recommend for at least the first few drafts is just write. Don't worry about whether you have spelling errors. Don't worry about
I can't do it
or not.
I think it's part of my autism. I can't do it. I'm so.
Then when you go back and reread, then fix it as you're rereading.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, no.
I know. I tried that myself. I think I've rewritten like the first few paragraphs about 5 times now.
Yeah, some of the tough thing about me writing the story is I don't have all of the details for everything that I've heard over the years. I mean, most of the stories come from my Nana, like direct stories from her. Like when she became like Rosie the Riveter during World War II, stuff like that. She had just had my mother, and she moved back in with her mother because she found out that her husband was already married. And so their marriage was null and void. And he was out to sea, my grandpa, and she left his ass in 1942 going into 1943. She left.
You really see that?
No, God. When my mom kicked out my dad in the 70s, she was the talk of the town. Women can't survive without a man. And she fucking did it. And people didn't like her. They liked her before. They didn't like her after that.
Yeah, it's like my grandmother on my dad's side. They ended up getting divorced.
What year was that?
I don't know what the year was, but it was around the time when that almost never happened.
Like 40s and 50s and shit. Yeah.
Might have been a little bit
back
later,
then it was
might have been in the 60s.
Oh, okay. It was still kind of rare then.
Yeah, but especially for that.
I mean, really, divorces started getting big like in the 80s, I think, is when everybody started divorcing each other. All of a sudden, like, it was okay to do it. Women were more liberated, and they were like, I'm not putting up with this dickhead abusing me anymore. Right. So they started leaving them and then at that point too, the welfare systems were better, and they could help the mothers and the kids, and all that shit started coming into more play. So then the women had resources to back them up. So, then in the 90s, they started to listen to women about the abuse.
So, apparently my grandfather was an abusive drunk, and I remember my dad saying, and my grandmother or his mom was saying, "Yeah, you can drink. I'll let you drink all you want." Points to her father, to his father. That's the consequences. I was like, okay, they never drank.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Yeah, I mean, my dad was the same way, and it's funny how women tend to marry their fathers. you know. So my grandpa was an abusive alcoholic. When he retired from the Navy, he became an abusive alcoholic, just like my dad.
Hmm.
So my grandfather actually broke my mother's nose when she was 14 or 16. She was 16 and he broke her nose. He punched her in the face. He was mad because she was just, I don't know how anybody was mad at her, because like Nana said, she was like the perfect child. She just didn't do things wrong. She was in Girl Scout. She was in Brownies and then Girl Scouts. And then she was in that, what do they call it when you're in like high school and you still do that shit? They don't do it anymore. It was way back a long time ago. Maybe Diana would know. But she was in that group with a bunch of girls. You know, she went to Catholic churches. She studied with nuns. Nana was working when she was younger, and she would spend time with the nuns after school, waiting for Nana to come pick her up from work and take her home. So she'd spend like an extra hour with the nuns, just learning stuff. She was like the sweetest, kindest person you'll ever meet. She would literally, like, when we were in hard times and we didn't have a lot of food, Mom ate very little, and we never ate very little. She always made sure we had plenty of food, and she would nearly starve herself.
It sounds like something my mom might have done.
Yeah, she'd like buy us school clothes, and we'd go to Gabe's to get the misstitched clothes and stuff like that, the odds.
Thinking with my,
and she'd spend all her money on getting us some school clothes, like 2 shirts, 2 pairs of pants each, you know. And then she would buy fabric and make her own clothes for the year.
Yeah, thinking
it was so much cheaper.
Yeah, with my grandparents on my mom's side, that is this different group. They both went through a situation where they were starvation situation, so they always made sure that none of the grandkids, none of their kids always had food. I remember
exactly.
My grandfather was like, you like KFC? When I was a little kid, you know, pick me up from school. Like, yeah, I like KFC. Go down to KFC, get like a big grocery bag full of KFC for like a month's worth supply. We couldn't eat it all. Just for 2
you had
people.
to like put it in the freezer in the fridge and stretch it out. Right.
We'd hand it out to people, because it was just too much to eat. But he wanted to make sure that we had food.
Yeah.
He went through a time where he didn't.
Yeah, the same thing happened with my Nana. I mean, she was born in 1917, and she was the 7th of 11 children. So they knew what poverty was. They were in the Boston ghettos during that time when the Boston ghettos were like Italian, Irish, whatever. So they lived in the Italian section of the Boston ghettos, and my great grandfather and my great grandmother both came through Ellis Island separately, a few months apart, and met in Boston and found out that they had only lived 100 miles away from each other in Italy. And they started talking, and they fell in love, and they had 11 children. So, but he had a farm outside of town, back when Boston was really tiny, I'm sure. But he had, my grandparents were born in the 19th century. Shit, I am old. So yeah, he started a farm. That's what he wanted to do. And everybody else in the family before him had been fishermen. And actually, my great grandfather, 5 times removed, died in a storm off the coast of North Carolina fishing. How interesting is that? All the way from Italy. Yep.
Yeah,
and that was back in like the, I don't know, 5 times removed. What's that? Like the fucking 1600s? I don't even know. A long time ago.
Yeah, my grandfather was Dutch, and my grandmother was Czechoslovakian.
Okay.
So they're she was from Czechoslovakia. In fact, they had a relative of ours went to her old home village, found some graves they didn't have the end date. So the person was still alive, and actually found relatives still living there. And there's like you can imagine the most stereotypical old world little old lady you can, with the little shawl around her head and all that. Invite you in, have like, oh, your relatives, oh, come on in, eat dinner, kind of thing. That my grandfather, just to survive, if he became a street boxer.
Really? Like got money, made
Yeah,
cash fighting people on
yeah,
the street.
yeah. He makes
Wow.
he actually ended up breaking his wrist, and they actually years later they had to break it again and reset it because it healed wrong.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
Because he never
get it.
he never took care of it.
They threatened me. They have threatened that with me with my jaw because I broke my jaw in 1998. I fell on my chin on a hardwood floor with linoleum on it. Took the skin right off my chin. And that's why I have like a bald patch right there because I have a big scar. But they wanted to. I didn't get anything done about it. And then I went to a chiropractor and he was like, you need to see a doctor about this. And they were like, well, we can re-break your jaw and put blah, 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 and you'll be eating blah, blah, blah for blah, blah. And I was like, fuck you. I'll deal with the pain.
Yeah.
It only really hurts bad when I chew like a steak that's not tender or something really hard for a long time. And then my jaw just starts fucking killing me, man. And it shoots pain up into my temple. But eating vegetables, it hasn't happened yet. So
my grandfather has some good stories. Like when he was little, he saw this pimp. Yep, he's got a nice suit. Got gold chains and all that. Walking down, has a nice car, women. Like so, when they asked him, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" He's like, "I want to be a pimp." He's got money.
Fuck yeah, who wouldn't when you're like 8, right? Or 12 or 16. Like, what's your hormones hit? That the idea of being rich and being surrounded by women, right?
No, he's got money. I'm starving on the streets. He's got money. Like, yeah, I want to be that.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Who wouldn't want to have that money, right? Well, that's why people in the ghettos get into drug dealing and all this other stealing and shit. They're just trying to fucking survive and get some money, man.
All the time he's like, ties up a goat, takes it home. His mother, my great grandmother, was like, "What do you have? A rope? What's on the end of the rope? Nothing." He just kept going on and on. Would not admit he had the goat. He was standing right there with the goat. Like,
the goat.
What's that? A rope? He just kept going on like that.
Nothing. You don't see a goat.
Yeah.
The goat's like.
Yeah.
Funny shit, man. What say you, Diana? Well, I know, but I told you what to do to take care of that. Don't forget, people, I am the Diana interpreter. I know what she's saying, but I can't tell you. But I can answer in English.
I am a little annoyed. I bought these cinnamon and donuts, and they turned out to be crap. I don't like them.
That sucks. Where'd you buy them at?
The Winn-Dixie bakery. I don't usually shop at the place, so I wanted some cinnamon donuts. I was gonna go down to the Dollar Tree and pick up a few of the mini ones since they were pretty good.
Yeah.
But I saw these sitting there. I'm like, okay, I can save myself a trip.
I bet you I'd still eat them if I got high enough.
So I got home, tried one, and like, yeah, these are kind of crappy.
So don't buy donuts at Winn-Dixie. Check. Okay. Speaking of food, Mage, I was watching this YouTube, and it was called 11 Foods That Are Fake. And they showed how they really make shit. Like wasabi's not wasabi in the US.
Most wasabi is actually colored horseradish.
Any wasabi you get in the US that isn't like $30 for like an ounce of it.
Yeah.
Like you're getting it at a restaurant or it's fucking horseradish.
Yeah.
They fake saffron.
Mm-hmm.
They put flavoring and colors on like coconut hairs and try to sell them like that. The caviar is the cheapest fish caviar they can fucking buy. And then they sell it way too expensive. Olive oil is mostly vegetable oil. They'll put a little bit of olive oil in it.
That depends on what olive oil you're buying.
It does, but anything that's not, like they were saying, if you're not paying $15-$20 for a small jar of olive oil, it's crap.
Actually, what you want to look at is whether it's in a dark or bottle or not.
That is part of it. That is part of hole in one.
Okay.
You could have kept talking, Mage. I would have listened.
Oh.
Just my
Yeah,
little brother from another mother called.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so there was what else did they have? Olive oil. Oh, they were talking about the corn syrup that they use for honey and maple syrup. Oh my god, it was shit that I knew, but they just kind of confirmed it for me. You know?
I'm kind of wondering what happened to this maple syrup I had gotten. It was supposed to be real maple syrup, up north, and it was bad. Actually, it tasted rancid.
Really? I've never tasted rancid. Well, you know what? It was probably real then, but it was old. See, there's my little brother from another mother. What's up, buddy? Yeah, no, I just find it interesting, the different ways. So with the honey, do you know what they do? They'll put make it out of corn syrup and shit, right? In China. And then they sell it. They send it over here through different companies so it can't be traced. And then they sell it as real honey on our shelves. So if you look at the back of your bottle of honey and it's from China, you might want to think about it. Oh, the other one was Parmesan Reggiano cheese. That was the other one. And apparently for the right bacteria, environment, everything, it has to be made in Reggiano, Italy. So anything that's not made in Reggiano, Italy, and it says Parmesan Reggiano or Parmesan, it's fucking fake. So pretty much everything on our shelves, unless you're spending like $20 on a little piece of it like this big. Because one of those wheels of Parmesan is worth like $2,000 or some crazy shit. So you're going to be spending some big money to get a slice of good parm.
Yeah, it's one that's good to get is for olive oil is the extra virgin California olive ranch one. That one's real. I've looked into.
Yeah, there's a couple brands in the U.S. that are absolutely real. Yes.
Yeah.
Most of them are not.
Yeah, I was needing olive oils. I was looking up best olive oils to get, and I came across the whole. Yeah, most of them aren't even real olive oil.
No, they're not. It's a bunch of vegetable oil and shit mixed in. It's not. It's just crap.
Yeah, and the thing gave me a list of olive oils that are real and you can buy. Like, okay, I see that one. So I went with that particular one for myself, and it's been pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, vanilla was one of the other ones too. Vanilla imitation vanilla.
There's a lot. Well, the vanilla
or the
thing
real vanilla.
Well, the imitation real vanilla isn't really that big of a deal. Chemically, it's basically the same stuff. It's just a matter of
it's not a big deal. They're not squeezing pig anuses or anything for it, so I'm okay. Americans don't have genuine cinnamon. I don't know, Nels. It's just they did the top 11.
That's correct. There are actually two different things we call cinnamon here.
So if you buy the cinnamon sticks, is it real?
I can't remember which one's which.
Because I'd rather buy the sticks and grind it up on a little fucking, grater. I'd rather grate it up myself than get the cheap shit.
Yeah, I know.
Because cinnamon's really good for you. If you get real honey and real cinnamon, they recommend a tablespoon of honey with a quarter teaspoon, or teaspoon of honey with a quarter teaspoon of cinnamon. Mix them together, put it on toast, eat it plain, off the spoon, whatever you want to do. It helps regulate your gut, your heart, your brain. It's good for glucose issues. It's good for high blood pressure. It's good for like, it's literally, there's a list of like 100 things that helps in your body.
I used to get the ones where the honey where it comes still in the beehive. You ever get that?
In the comb, with the comb in it.
Got the comb, the comb in it.
Yeah. That's when you know it's real honey, because you can't make that comb. They can't recreate that comb.
Yeah.
And if you chew on it and it's real waxy fucking comb, then they have real bees.
Mhm.
But they were recommending online just for like honey and stuff like that. Just buy it local from somebody that sells it on the side of the road. It's better for you. And also it's better for you because it can help you with allergies in that environment.
Yep.
If you're buying honey from China, it's not going to help you for living in the environment you're in. But if you buy honey local, it does help. Yeah, it helps with allergies and builds your immune system. And
I used to do that for allergy. I'd take a tablespoon of real honey, local honey, and just have that each day to help with it, build up a tolerance for the allergies.
Yeah, do that and add a quarter teaspoon of cinnamon to it.
Yeah, sometimes I did.
Yeah, you should. Like, it's supposed to be really good for you. I just forget to do it all the time. I'm too ADD. I can't remember. I forgot to take my shot for 2 weeks, Mage. 2 fucking weeks. So I'm at work this past week, and I'm like sweating my balls off, and I'm like, fucking what the fuck? And then I realized I didn't do my shot for 2 weeks, and my hormones are out of whack, and I'm having fucking hot flashes all the time. Yeah,
and
that's fun.
And you just reminded me I forgot to take my naproxen sodium last night.
I guess I don't touch that shit. It's hard on your kidneys.
I know. I have to take it to control my arthritis.
You can't take. There's nothing Tylenol based you can take.
Tylenol won't do a damn thing.
Damn it. Okay. Well, just be careful and drink lots of water and blah blah blah.
It has to be a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory thing.
And I recommend that anybody that is taking any kind of medication or has a lifestyle that's hard on their kidneys or whatever, like having to take that all the time for your arthritis, I would incorporate more veggies in your diet and less meat protein. Because I quit eating meat for 2.5 months and went and got my blood work, and my EGFR, my filtration, went up 9 points. 9 points. It was below the minimum, which is why I have CKD.
Only problem with that, I've tried that before and I ended up feeling lethargic.
From vegetables?
Yeah, there's something about the way my body processes things that I end up feeling lethargic if I cut down on meat. And I've tried alternatives.
You know what that tells me, though? That tells me you're not getting enough protein out of your vegetables.
Yeah, I've tried increasing the protein, like beans and all that, and it doesn't help. What
vegetables do you eat? Tell me, because now I've looked into this shit. I know what to eat now. Tell me what you eat.
Well, I've done, obviously mixed. Usually those mixed bean things. You get those baked beans. We'll go with some rice, broccoli, kale. Well, I grow that stuff myself now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, the problem here is first of all, you need to really watch eating anything that's pre-prepared. So if you get like baked beans in a can, it's full of preservatives, and that will make you feel sluggish.
No, I'm talking about like the dried stuff in the bag.
Oh, okay. So you're making your own.
Yeah.
All of it fresh.
Yeah. Just,
okay.
Put it in water, cook it up.
Okay. So, with my limited knowledge and what I have learned over the last 3 or 4 months, I would suggest lots of avocado, lots of cucumber, some tomatoes, you can put bean sprouts. You can grow your own bean sprouts. Those are full of fucking protein. They're really good for you.
Might have tried to,
but I think
I do have to grow my own tomatoes. I can't stand store-bought tomatoes.
Then fine, yeah, grow your own, absolutely. But beans are a good source of protein, but they're really not as high as you think. Like avocados and bean sprouts are actually higher in protein than actual beans.
And I do seem to require a higher protein intake than most people too, I've noticed.
Yeah. Kira, Perps. Hello, beautiful ladies. How are you guys?
Hi, honey.
You. The only kind of beans I eat are black beans. They're high in protein and they do not give you an extreme gas. All the pintos and stuff are more starch. You have to watch what kind of bean too. You know what I mean? You're eating. Oh, and the other thing I do, Mage, is the only things like in a jar I buy that could have preservatives or whatever, is olives and hot peppers.
I don't like olives, unfortunately.
That's okay. That's okay. You can pick something else. You can pick artichoke hearts. You can pick asparagus. The canned asparagus you can buy, or the jarred, not the canned shit. Don't buy that. The stuff in the jar that's like in a brine, that's really good. So what I do is I cut up my olives, my hot peppers. Sometimes I bought Brussels sprouts that are in a brine, but it's like a little spicy, so it's got a little zip to it. I cut all that up, and then from each jar that I cut up stuff out of, I pour just a little bit of the juice in, and then I just add a little bit of olive oil at the end. So I'm not putting preservative-filled dressing into my body. I've already got a little preservatives with the brine and everything and the jarred stuff. So the stuff in the jar is the only thing I eat that's not like fresh, and I cut it up myself.
Something you can try,
just because I can't make olives like that.
something you can try is since you mentioned in the artichoke, try growing sunflowers, and before the sunflower opens up, like it's when it's still a bud, pick it and cook it, and it'll actually taste like artichoke bit inside. When you peel it up,
got that nutty flavor.
Yeah, you peel it open, you eat the inside of it. It's like a little artichoke. It's like a poor man's artichoke. Yeah. And just, you can go to the grocery store or whatever, and buy those black oil little bag of bird seed, plant those, and grow the sunflowers from those, and harvest them from there.
Excellent. And by the way, I suggest that people that want to do any gardening buy heirloom seeds.
That's if you're going to be saving the seeds.
Yeah, that way you don't have to buy them every year.
It's heirloom or open pollinated is what you want to look for if you're buying if you want to save the seeds, because there's the hybrids, they'll revert back to whatever it was they bred it with. You don't know what you're getting really.
And not just that, but things that are not what we were talking, heirloom and everything, you can't take the seeds out of the vegetable and regrow them. And they do it on purpose in stores.
No. Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
Since when did that change?
Well, a lot of the problem with growing stuff from, like what you say, from grocery stores is the stuff isn't mature yet. It
isn't what?
It's not mature yet. The seeds aren't mature.
Okay.
That's the reason why you can't take the seeds out of, like, say, a squash and you grow it from the grocery store, because the squash that we're eating doesn't have mature seeds in it yet.
Yeah, but I also heard it was because they fucked with them, and you can't, and because they hybrid this and everything else.
Well, no, it's not, what you're probably looking about is some of the stuff in the grocery store can be genetically modified, where they won't produce seeds and all that. But
that's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, but the stuff that does produce seeds, and like you could, if it went to maturity, you could grow it. But there's also
I mean, it's like, look at our bananas; those aren't real bananas.
Yeah, well, they are real bananas, but they're
GMO bananas, because the real ones have big ass black fucking seeds in them that would freak out most people, and they wouldn't fucking eat it because they think it was a bug.
We've bred them to the point where they have infertile seeds, and they have to grow from pups popping up from it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that grocery stores will do is some of the stuff that they will sometimes spray it with inhibitors. You find that usually with like potatoes.
Right.
But you can still kind of you can still kind of get around that. Is that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you can still kind of get around that. Say if you took the store-bought potato and sprayed with the inhibitor, you'll probably get like just small potatoes. But if you take those potatoes that grew from that one and then replant those, you should get good-sized potatoes, because those aren't going to have the inhibitor on it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, see, that's the thing is, that started quite a while back with the produce people making it because they don't want you to grow if you grow your own, you're not going to buy it from them.
Yeah.
So
Also,
they don't want you to grow your own.
it's also good to note if you're buying seeds, you're not getting GMO.
Yes,
They
like
don't.
I bought Kyle some seeds because he loves pico de gallo.
No, they
He
don't.
loves it.
They don't sell GMO seeds to regular growers and growers. They only sell GMO seeds to businesses.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you as a there's a
Consumer.
hobbyist or consumer or whatever, they're not going to sell you GMO seeds. They're going to sell those to the professional farmers.
I've seen them. I've
No,
seen them for sale.
no, they don't
But
do.
they
They,
say they're GMO. Like they have to. They have to tell you that.
I've never seen anything say they don't. From my understanding, they don't sell those to regular people. They only if you buy a seed at a big box store and it's in a little seed
Okay.
package, they do not. None of those are GMO. They will say on the pack. What you will see is a lot of them saying non-GMO on the package, but that's just a sales tactic.
But I was looking up like bulk seeds, so that might have been where I saw it at.
That might have been, but
Okay.
yeah, those are usually sold to. You'll only find that sold to like I said, professional growers. People in
Yeah,
big
because they sell
businesses.
you like 50 million fucking seeds at once. I looked it up just to see, because the tiny home community thing, I've been doing research and stuff. And it's a lot of fucking seeds. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot. Like
Yeah.
they would expire before you used them all,
Hi, honey.
for like a family farm. Perps.
Hello.
How are you?
Don't know yet. I'm not awake yet.
Tell you when the brain starts working.
Sleep's
Yeah.
overrated anyways. Who needs it? We just stay up all night worrying about our lives and our health.
Yeah, I didn't sleep too well last night myself.
Well, again, I didn't get to sleep till after sunrise, so.
It was almost.
Well,
sunrise
that's
when I got to
definitely
sleep.
later than me.
Yeah.
I was so exhausted, Purple, from the night before because I was telling them I worked for 12 hours in 95 degrees Santa Fe heat with no AC in my truck.
Yeah.
So when I got home, I was, what it does to you. And I've had sun poisoning and heat stroke before. So I'm, once you've had it once, you're more susceptible to it.
Yeah, I got heat
So,
stroke
like-
doing a roofing job many years ago.
See,
I've done research
yeah.
before, yeah.
Now put hot flashes on top of all of that.
Shit.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do my shots for 2 weeks and I had hot flashes for 4 or 5 days and I couldn't figure out why. And then I got home on Friday and went, "Oh, you dumbass! You didn't do your fucking shot." So my hormones are fucked right now. So I'm gonna suffer for the next 2 weeks until it gets regulated back out.
Yeah,
I need,
till
to
everything.
get that fucking hysterectomy done is what I need to get done.
Yeah.
I gave Molly her flea medicine, preventative medicine yesterday.
Good. I don't do that with my cats, but they're just indoor. They don't ever go outside. I don't let them.
Yeah, I take her out for walks every twice a day, and I like to take her to the dog park occasionally if the weather is not too hot, which has only.
How
been
is she
one
with
time.
other dogs?
Oh,
Is she
she's
like-
great.
She's a happy puppy, isn't she? Everybody's a
yeah.
friend.
Yes.
Yeah, I can tell by looking at her. Those eyes. She just looks like a sweetheart.
She wants to say hi to everybody.
It's awesome.
Apparently, her old home, there are other dogs in the house, other animals, there were kids, so she's acclimated to all that.
Oh, okay. So she wasn't like grandma's dog for 2 years and never got any interaction with anybody.
No, she was in a big
Okay.
family apparently, and
Yeah.
apparently she had some medical issue that they had to fix. Some herniated thing that they fixed when they went into it when they did the they fixed her with spade neuter kind of thing, and they also fixed up that when they were in there just before I got her, and I'm guessing that's probably part of the why they gave her up, because they didn't have their apparently money issues, and there was also issues with the landlord. Apparently they had too many pets. I'm told.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they probably were thinking, okay, here's a dog that we can't afford. We need to get rid of the dog because of the landlord issues.
Wait, what was wrong with her when you got her?
Some kind of hurt.
What did they have to fix before you got her? I should say. Sorry.
Well, she needed to be neutered, and she had some kind of a intestinal hernia, I think was.
Oh, that's
So
right.
basically,
you did tell me that.
Basically, the intestines were like twisted, and they just had to go in there and untwist it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's still expensive though. Yeah. Well, at least I'm glad they did it. And they took care of it, so she was healthy when you acquired her. That's good. That's a good shelter.
Yeah, it was a really good humane society, but they took care of all that. I didn't have to pay for it. But I gotta say, it was having her right out of surgery, bringing a new dog home was definitely made it a hell of a lot more stressful.
I remember you were like this with her. Like, what the fuck? Gotta be careful, and she doesn't know me yet.
No,
I'm glad you guys have become buddies and that it worked out. I'm happy for you.
No,
it's important, man.
Yeah, she instantly took to me. I was actually really surprised. Like I said, when I first met her, she had the fire alarm went off just as I walked into the building. So she was terrified. It was first day she was brought there. She got terrified by a loud noise of the fire alarm that the construction people set off. And that's why I met her.
Oh
and she's the person who brought her in said she wouldn't even go on the lead. They had to pick her up and carry her into this little waiting room. And she went right up to me, and she put her paws up on my legs,
and said, "This is a horrible place. Get me out of here."
And she save me. Will you be my dad?
Do you want to ask her if she wanted to be up on my lap? And I picked her up, and she put her head on my shoulder, and just hugged me. You ever been hugged by a dog like that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And then
she was scared. You made her feel safe.
Yeah, and she just sat on my lap. I could feel her shaking. She was she's still terrified, and I just held her until she stopped shaking. And when she finally calmed down, she kind of walked around the room a little bit, and then went right back to my side. Like, okay, yeah, this is definitely my dog.
Right. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I went to a shelter with my ex Amy back in 2013, and we went and adopted a dog, and she was a black lab, and she had a white patch on her chest, and it looked like a number 1. It looked just like a number 1. And I was like, "You're number 1, Luna. You're number 1." So she was the sweetest dog. And we walked through there, and they brought her out to us, and she was just like, "Okay, yep, I love you guys. Let's go."
Oh, yeah.
And she was still kind of small, like she wasn't fully grown yet. So the first 4 months we had her, 6 months we had her, she finished growing, and she was just the most amazing, sweet, protective. Like, she did everything right. Amy had a Chihuahua, and because the Chihuahua was in the house first, that Chihuahua ruled. And she was okay with it. She knew her place. Mm-hmm. And because Amy had another dog that was a Beagle Lab mix. Funniest thing in the world, but she was cute as fuck. But she looked like a lab. She was just compact. You know what I mean? Like, small and short. She had little stubby legs and shit. Yeah, it was weird.
My first dog was a Spitz Collie mix. So you can imagine.
Really?
So you can imagine a knee-high collie is basically what she looked like.
Diana, are you there? No, Diana stepped away for a bit.
Say again?
She's got her head on the table.
Oh, well, one of our lurkers in the side chat is asking for a health update on you.
Oh, okay. Well, not for shit, as usual.
Well, I think you need to go a bit more. Great Dane says, "I typically don't comment, but I feel compelled. How is my Lavender lady's health? I'm not trying to get into her business, just concerned." So, yeah, people don't know a whole lot about what's been going on since you've been in New York, except that you bounced into the hospital several times.
I was just in the hospital last weekend.
Yeah.
But since you mentioned black labs, my uncle was my dad's oldest brother. He always got black labs. And one of them he had a really bad name for. He looked it up, and the definition he saw was of the blacks, so he figured, okay, he didn't really think really stupid, and it was the N-word. So he named his dog the N-word.
Yeah.
And this dog got off of its leash and ran, and it ran past.
And he's running down the street yelling the N-word.
And it ran past this group of black guys. So this dog runs past this group of black guys, and he's running down the street chasing them, going, here, and.
Did he live?
Yeah, he lived.
That's a lucky motherfucker. That's a lucky white dude.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. That must have been back when they were still severely repressed and didn't speak up.
I think that might have been.
Because that wouldn't have flown today. He would have got his fucking ass beat or killed. He would have been in the hospital.
That might have been in the 70s.
Oh, yeah. No, they were still not allowed to speak in the 70s, so he could get away with it. It's true. They couldn't. It's horrible.
Well, and actually,
I had a best friend when I
word
was...
didn't seem as great back then.
I don't think that's true.
Well,
I
there
think
were still
that they didn't
instances where
say
they
shit.
could use it on television then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was kind of a thing. That was like, yeah. In retrospect, I wouldn't have gone with that name, kind of thing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there's so much. You know, you could have used like Niger, anything else. My God, why would you use that word? But see, that's the thing. That's the preconditioning that our parents and great grandparents and great grandparents handed down. It was so common for them.
Yeah, and like
it wasn't a big deal because they weren't seen as racist. They were just white people.
Oh,
yeah, and he didn't intend it as a slur. Like I said, he intended it in the definition of the black.
Yeah. Which is really fucked up. They're not even black. They're just some of them are really dark brown. Nobody's black. It's not even a color of the skin. If you have something black on your skin, you might want to go get it removed. They're not even black people. That's why I prefer to use BIPOC because of that. Because
if you get down to it, white people aren't even white.
I knew someone who had 2 cats, says Mr. Shadow Kitty. Spick and Span. It was awkward after Span died. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess it would be.
Yeah, I see how that'd be a problem.
I have a Mexican friend. I used to tease her and call her a wetback all the time. She would fucking come after me and start smacking me. It was great. We had a great relationship. I'm actually still friends with her. She lives in Pennsylvania now.
Yeah, with my late fiance's friends, I was the token cracker.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. Yeah. I was the token cracker during basic training. I liked the black people better. They were more cool. And they accepted me easily, and they didn't care who the fuck I was. And I was just a person, and we had a good time together.
Yeah, so nobody really cared. It was just a running joke.
Yeah, so it was me fresh off the West Virginia farm with a bunch of black people from Atlanta, Georgia, and New York City. And I didn't know anything about anything. I was clueless. I knew that the words my dad used were slurs, because I had a black friend growing up, and he was like, dude, that's not cool. And I was like, what do you mean? He uses that all the time. Because I didn't know. I knew it wasn't necessarily a good word because he used it in a bad way, like, you would fuck or shit, So I knew it wasn't a good word, but I didn't understand the meaning behind it until I got to be like 10 years old, and me and Adam became friends. And then I was like, holy shit, my dad's an asshole. So he comes up to me one day. I'm 12 years old. Adam and I had been friends for like right about 2 years at this point. And he comes up to pick me up, and I'm standing there with Adam, black. His cousin Sid, black. What are the other guys' names? You could tell they weren't my better friends. The black guys were, right? I can't remember their names now. Anyway, and 2 white guys that were very poor, and they lived in an old house, and their parents were struggling to or their dad, no mom. Their dad was struggling to survive and fix the house up, and he was working like fucking 60, 70 hours a week. And so they didn't have any money, and they were always, had dirty clothes and shit because dads weren't great at doing household stuff back then. They didn't know how half of them didn't even know how to fucking run a goddamn washing machine, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So,
it actually took me a while
so he
to figure out
pulls
how to
up.
run one.
He pulls up. He sees me walking down there. He goes, I've been looking for you. And I said, oh, hey, Dad, I've been waiting for you. I've been just kind of wandering around. He goes, what the fuck are you doing? And I said, sorry? What? And he goes, what are you doing? And I said, I'm hanging out with my friends. He goes, you don't hang out with scum like this. These are just a bunch of N-words. And I went, Dad, these are my friends. And he said, they're pieces of shit and they're just white and black N-words. And I said, fuck off. And I never went to his house again.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That was it. And I went home and said, I don't like him. And Mom said, you don't have to go see him.
I had some different in situations with my dad. He was like, he was prejudiced. He knew he was prejudiced. And it was, I remember I was singing up, it was after my parents got divorced. We were in his apartment and we were singing up there. We had a nice view of the parking lot and all that. And there was this black guy walking down the sidewalk. It was like, see that person? I hate this person. I don't want you to ever be like me.
Oh, he told you that?
Yeah. Don't be
That's
like me.
Amazing. How mature? How mature?
I know how I feel about this person is wrong. I don't want you to be that way.
You know what's horrible for me is, okay, I forget very little. I forget little things like medication, whatever, but big things that happen in life, I fucking remember it. God damn it. I saw something shiny. Carry on. I'll get back to it in a minute.
Okay.
I know what I was going to say.
Okay.
He said it so much growing up that when I see people doing things wrong, crime and stuff, those slurs come up in my head to this fucking day. And he's been out of my life for 40 fucking years and he's still instilled in me. Because he was saying it when I was a baby. He was saying it when I was 5. From the time you're baby to you're 5, those are your big formative years where you learn things and your personality and your character starts forming and everything. The only reason I'm not a piece of shit is because I had an amazing mother who loved everybody. And she didn't give a fuck what color you were. She was like MLK. I don't judge a person by their color. I judge them by their actions. That's how my mom was.
Yeah.
And she loved everybody until they gave her a reason not to. And then I would say, oh, you must hate them. And she'd go, hate is a strong word, but I don't like them. And that was when she was mad at someone. Like my dad, I don't hate your father. I'm upset with him. How can you not hate him? He cheated on you and fucking spent all his money on some woman. And we got kicked out of our house. We ended up being poor. So he turned us into my friends that he didn't like. And she still would not say she hated him. She still fucking loved him. He's lost. He just needs to find his way. He's lost? Yeah, he can get lost.
I don't really hate anybody because that takes too much energy and I just don't have the energy to waste on it.
Doesn't it really?
You know, so it's like, yeah, people I don't like, I just write them off and it's just apathy.
No, that's how I am. Like my brother, I don't hate him. I don't wish him ill.
Yeah.
You know, I want nothing to do with him. I never want contact with him for the rest of my life. I don't wish him ill. You know, that's on him. That's not my judgment to make. Whatever he does
the
with
way
his
I
life
am.
is on him.
It's just, you know, yeah, go ahead, live your life. Don't talk to me. I don't care anymore.
Agreed.
Hey.
You know what this motherfucker does, Purple? This is funny. It's a real short Richard snippet. So he works for my landlord. You know, I introduced him to her and all that shit. So they've been working together off and on, you know, doing stuff. He's been renovating, blah, 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 3.5 years now. So she goes to see him. She made him a lasagna because she had seen that he wasn't eating right and he was skinny as fucking dirt. You know, like he was like skin and bones almost. So she said, you know what? I'm going to bring him some food. So she kept trying to get him to come over and pick it up, but he wouldn't. So she brought him a whole fucking veggie lasagna she made for him. And he says, oh, yeah, tell Beck. No, he said, can you make sure Beck has my number? And Joni goes, I wish I had a brother to hate. I have to use a mirror. No, Ox, just there's plenty of people out there to hate. You don't need to worry about a brother. It's abusive. Anyways, so he says, yeah, well, can you make sure Beck has my number? And Joni goes, he has your number. And he's like, oh, okay, well, we've just let him know if he wants to call me. Motherfucker, you pull that shit and you think I'm going to come crawling back to you? You can suck my lack of dick. Like right now. That's his thing. He's said it to her a couple times, and he keeps treating her like shit. And he's pissing me off. I'm about to go over there with a fucking baseball bat and take care of his ass. The only problem is, the only reason I haven't is I'm afraid if I start, I won't stop. After all those years of abuse, I might not stop. Damn, did I bring the conversation down? Hey, did anybody hear about that new price of rice in China?
Teacups.
So, Perps, what are you doing today? You going to come by my stream later?
Oh, sorry, I was muted.
Oh, that's okay. I thought maybe you stepped away and got up or something. Go ahead.
No, I was a bit distracted by Kitty trying to get into my lap, so I'm, again, having to balance the keyboard on his back.
But that's how he likes it.
Yeah, well, we've been doing it for years, so it's just the common routine. As long as he can be up in there and... I had to put my headphones on because he gets kind of frisky when he hears Sylvia.
Yeah, no, I agree with Ox. Ox said hate is a sign of a weak mind. I honestly don't hate anyone. There are a few I'd love to set on fire, but hate, no. Yeah, hate is really strong. Hate is like verging on I would kill you, right? Yeah, I just try, honestly, my thing is this. If you walk around feeling hate for other people, that hate is going to build, and the only person you're hurting is yourself.
Yeah,
because those motherfuckers that are assholes, the motherfuckers that are assholes, they go home at night and they sleep like babies, and we're over here fucking stressing about it. Yeah. So I don't stress about it anymore. I write people off and I move on with my life. And when I tell people I'm done, that's it. When I say I'm done with you, I'm done. Don't expect to ever hear from me again. So, and I told him I'm done. And he knows that when I say that, I mean it because I did it with my other brother. I'm done. And those were literally the last two words I spoke to that motherfucker in 2015. Hate is what is tearing this world apart. Everyone wants to hate instead of fixing why there is hate. Well, Ox, if we fixed why there was hate, then the government wouldn't have so much power anymore, and we'd all bind together and we'd clean up their fucking bullshit, and we'd have good people in office. So no, they don't want us to. They would love for us to keep hating each other because all together we're unstoppable, and they fucking know it. So hate is what they try to instill every day to keep that going.
Mm-hmm. It's not just on one side either.
I'm sorry,
Sammy is being a little weirdo again.
It's not just on one side either.
Oh, no, it's not. It's more prevalent on one side, but it is on both.
Yeah.
And which is why people are like, oh, what are you, Democratic? Are you Democrats? You hate Trump? I'm like, I'm an independent because I shouldn't say hate. I do not trust any politician, period. If you say I'm running for an office, I'm probably not going to trust you unless I already know you ahead of time. Yeah, the rich men north of Richmond, right? I know, Ox. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible how everybody's being treated and fucking millions of dollars into military aircrafts and ships and everything else that we don't fucking need. They sit there. They're not being used. Yeah. Every goddamn army base in the world has more fucking vehicles than they have personnel. Every Air Force base has more planes than they have fucking pilots. It's a fucking how big is my dick thing. And the bottom line is this: the companies that make all the military equipment charge way too much, and they have a contract with the military to put out so much per year. And since the military signed it, they keep spending our money on it. So we don't get, issues solved like drug abuse and homelessness and all the other issues. Because they want to make sure their penises are big enough.
Is something they can always pass. And, if in Congress, if they're trying to pass a bill and they don't have quite enough votes, they can get a couple extra votes by attaching a military spending contract that, creates some jobs in the district of somebody who's on the line.
And all these companies are basically buying and selling our politicians like trading cards.
You guys see that interview with Tucker Carlson with that con man that says that he smoked crack and had sex with Obama? Everybody hear about that guy? No. That's how desperate Tucker Carlson is right now. He did an interview on Twitter with a con man who has a history, and has a history so bad of being a con man that while he was doing the interview, some Democratic people called the police and he got arrested because he had warrants out for his arrest.
Oh, yeah, I heard
as soon as he walked out of the interview, he got arrested. Yep.
Oh, yeah, the one saying Obama was gay. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all the truth. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, they already debunked it anyways. They gave him a lie detector test and some other kind of test. He failed every test they gave him. So we all know he's lying anyways. Well, he's literally known to be a con man.
Yeah, you don't even need the lie detector test. He's already has a history of being lying, so he's it's not exactly a trustworthy source to begin with.
Yeah, every single one of his arrests and warrants are all due to a con. Every single one of them. And he's been arrested. He's got he had 2 warrants, I think, when they arrested him. He'd already been arrested like 6 or 7 times before that.
I like to refer to him as Fucker Carlson.
Show you what I'd refer to him as. Fucking goddamn piece of shit. Money hungry motherfucker. It's like the on the Young Turks, they said, you have that much money, just go away. Nobody wants you around anymore. When Fox News gets rid of you because you lie so much, you're in some serious shit. Just walk away, bro. But of course, Fox News used him for a fall guy because they're all a bunch of liars.
Yeah, well, Fox News just got rid of him because he got him, stuck with a lawsuit. He was costing them money.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fox Entertainment. Because they legally had to change their name because they are not news. It was proven in court, and they made them change their name to Fox Entertainment. So why these people still think it's news, I have no fucking idea.
Well, actually, they used it as a defense in court, saying that they were not news, they were entertainment.
Yeah, because they were forced to change it. They don't tell you that part. But yet their followers
I mean,
and the Trumpers,
it was in one of their lawsuits that they used it as a defense. That they weren't because they were getting sued for some of their biases and basically ramping up the rage. They said that we're not really news, we're entertainment.
Ox said, and it will keep getting worse as long as the people keep letting it happen. Word is we're due for a new civil war. This time it's poor versus rich, not black versus white. Yeah. The problem is we can't fight the civil war. We don't have enough money to.
Well, and unfortunately, the civil war we've got coming isn't poor versus rich. It's still going to be very much the fanatical right and the left
No, I think I agree with Fox here. It is going to be poor versus rich.
Well, if it was poor versus rich, you wouldn't have all of these, poor people or working class people who keep voting Republican.
That's part of how they're fighting. They're fighting
No,
us,
but
though.
that goes right back to Fox News.
That's
a
how
lot
they're
of these
manipulating us.
Yeah. Oh, I agree 100%, Mage. Because a lot of these rural places only get like 1 or 2 news stations. What do they feed them? They feed them Fox. So that's what everybody watches. So it's like a vicious cycle of the same thing happening over and over again. My parents watched Fox News. My parents watched Fox News, and their parents watch. And so now they're all stuck that they all talk about Fox. So now everybody watches Fox because that's what the whole entire community talks about.
Yeah,
and here we are, and they don't get good information. Like a lot of these places that are rural, they still lose internet all the time. And they can barely get a signal on their smartphone if they can fucking afford one. So what they're given is whatever those stations want to give them. Yeah, and it's controlled by people like Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah, this left versus right thing is largely just a manipulation to keep us divided. If you actually looked at policies, you'll actually find there's actually a good percentage of people on the right who would, if you phrase it correctly, will agree with the left-wing policies.
Yep.
For example, what was it? Social democracy. You're like, oh, socialism. Oh, that's terrible. Well, do you agree with the worker is having a say in how things go in the job? Like, well, yeah, it's in the circumstances. Well, that's the definition.
Yeah,
so
dumbass.
if you actually, you can actually find people in that situation where I actually will agree with it. Legalize marijuana. You actually find 30-40% of people on the right will actually agree with legalizing it, for example.
Well, because those people are keeping up with what science is actually saying and not reading Fox News every day.
Just kind of
see, here's the problem is not all Republicans are bad and not all Democrats are bad. You have that bad group in every fucking bunch. It doesn't matter where you work. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter where you live. It's like that. So the problem is that the assholes are the ones with the big mouths. So all we hear is the assholes. And then you got the Democrats over there going, what the fuck are you talking about? You're an idiot. That's been disproven. This has been disproven. You lied. You said this and then you said this. So it's not even about running the government anymore. It's a battle. It's a bipartisan battle constantly. It's all it is. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's about who's trying to get in power. Now, do the Democrats give more towards people and less towards big companies? More than the fucking Republicans do. But neither one of them give what they should. Neither one of them do what they should. Fucking Biden put in all those laws his first 3 months. He had like the most laws ever, changed or whatever in like the history of the fucking United States in the first month or 2 months or whatever it was. But not all of those were for us, still all the shit that he said he was going to do, he hasn't done it all yet.
Okay.
But I would still take him over any Republican that's out there right now. Especially Vivek Ramaswamy. Because Vivek Ramaswamy is an intelligent psycho. He's not stupid like fucking DeSantis and Trump. He would literally fuck us over. He wants to fuck us over. Do you know what one of the things he wants to do? He wants to change the voting age.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Where you can just walk in and vote. But kids 18 to 20 or 3 or whatever it is, he wants to make them take the immigration test before they vote. Nobody can pass that. We have horrible schools.
Here's another
example. How the fuck are they going to pass that shit? All he's doing is trying to eliminate people like black people and Hispanic people from fucking voting. That's all he's doing. And I don't even understand why, because he's fucking BIPOC.
And here's another example. Do you think it is responsible of the federal government and to make sure all Americans have health care coverage? That's universal health care. Where 88% Democrats say yes. There's 59% independents say yes. 28% Republicans say yes. So you still have good. That's a fairly decent percentage of Republicans right there, even if it's on the lower end.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the problem with that right now is who's got control of the House. Is that right, Perps? Or Mage, maybe you know? I don't know. Does that the Republicans having control of the House, isn't that stopping some of the shit from going through?
That doesn't matter. The Democrat or Republican, neither side is really in favor of it right now.
Jesus. Well, don't hurt our pocketbooks.
Yeah, the politicians get too many kickbacks from the insurance companies, and universal health care would undercut the insurance companies.
Yeah, look at one of our Supreme Court judges taking fucking bribes and shit. Fucking piece of shit. And it really, honestly, this is what pisses me off the most about it. That man is representing the black community, and he's acting like a fucking piece of shit. And it pisses me off that we have the, black people in the fucking Supreme Court, as we should, and they're acting like assholes. I mean, could you imagine being a black person, how embarrassing that must be? Like, you get someone in a high office, you get someone in a high position, has power, and can help your people, and they do the fucking opposite. What is wrong with? They get a little money shoved up in their nutsack, and then that's it.
In fact, we have with Biden here, I believe he called universal health care an insult to his dead son, and he would veto it if it got to his desk. Okay.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Did you say something I needed to directly respond to? Say that again, Mage. Oh. I was pouring coffee.
I said with universal health care, Biden called it an insult to his dead son, and he would veto it if it got to his desk, if anybody got a bill through.
Biden said that?
Yeah.
Why?
He's not in favor of it.
Yeah, but I don't understand why.
I don't get it either. He's just got that old school bought and sold.
Jesus. Yeah, see, that's the fucking problem we have. Term limits, folks. Can we discuss term limits? And age limits and all kinds of shit? Like, I don't think we should have a couple people on the Congress floor that are having fucking strokes and can't even know how to fucking say their own name for roll call. Come on.
Yeah, why do we have term limits on the president, but we don't have term limits on anyone in Congress?
And we can't even vote those in.
Because of white male privilege, Perps. That's why.
I think it goes back more to the social status thing.
Hey, buddy, it all started with white privilege. Every single fucking thing wrong in this goddamn fucking country started with white privilege and toxic masculinity. Swear to God. I'll stand by that till I'm dead in, 10 to 17 years or whatever. Oh, yeah, Purple got a fun diagnosis. Chronic kidney disease.
Oh.
Yeah. Told Diana I need to stop hanging out with her so much.
Yeah. Are you going to have to start doing dialysis then?
Probably eventually. They say that the stage I'm in with lowered function, 51% of people live 11 years. 6% live 3 to 5. So the median is 11 years. So could get lucky and get 17 to 20 out of it. I don't know. Guess it just depends on what happens.
Well, lucky or not lucky, I don't know. Because if you live 17 years with garbage for health. Is that lucky?
I know, Diana. I know. And I know what dialysis does to you and other people because as an EMT, I spent a lot of time pulling what's the word? People that can't walk. I pulled patients in and out of bed-bound patients in and out of dialysis. So I know what it does to them. I watched long-term effects, months and months of picking up the same people over and over again and watching them decline over like a year period. So I don't know. It's just, I guess the day's probably going to come where I just give up on it. I mean, I've struggled through my whole fucking life. I don't need health struggles now. It's becoming very frustrating. Yeah, frustrating is being very, very mild.
I suspect I'd probably die with my middle finger raised in the air.
The shitty thing is this. Even though I have my filtration back up above 60, the damage is already done, so it doesn't fucking matter. So I can eat vegetables for the rest of my life and try to stay as healthy as I can. And I think when I start feeling like shit, I'm going to eat whatever the fuck I want and just blow my brains out and say fuck it.
Sounds like a good idea.
Because we all have that breaking point.
Well,
I'm glad you're not at yours yet, Diana. Thank you very much, because I really care about you, but we all have it.
Well, look at it this way. When your kidneys finally you crap out, you don't have to worry about trying to keep them good anymore. You can just eat whatever the hell you want.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Fuck it. I might try crack. Who cares? I'm kidding. I would never try crack or coke. But I'm probably going to do a lot of Molly and shit. Fuck it. You might as well be happy, right? And no, not your dog, Mage.
You beat me to the punch.
Sorry, Perps. You can still make the joke. Go ahead. We'll act like we didn't know anything.
Nah.
Yeah, you can't do that anyways. It's got to be in the moment or it's wasted. Let's see what Ox says here. Ox says, wait till the people realize that the president is nothing more than a puppet of Oh, buddy, anybody that's got brains has known that for a long time. The problem we have here, you know, those 100 IQ, typical average IQ, which is not realistic because people keep taking the tests over and over again to get better scores, which raises the average. So I think I remember when the average used to be 98. Now it's 100. That's bullshit. I think the average is more like 85. So you have to remember that you don't have just 80s and 70s out there making decisions and voting. You have like 60s out there. Like they're barely fucking surviving. They can barely feed themselves, and they're voting for the fucking presidents.
The average is always 100. Just adjust. It's always 100. They just adjust it up or down as to the IQ is really kind of bullshit anyway.
Well, see, here's the problem. If everybody just took it one time, it would be accurate. But after I took mine, didn't know you could study for it, had no clue what was in the test, never discussed it with anyone. Richard brought up IQ tests. I said, I'll go take one. Fuck it. I've never done it. Why not? You know? So I go and take it. Well, I didn't take it fucking 50, 60 times. I haven't taken it 100 times over the years and studied for it and tried to improve my scores.
It also depends on the IQ test. They're not all the same. So
exactly,
you can get a lower score on one and a higher score on the other.
But I took two different ones. And got the exact same score, Mage. Swear to God.
The average is always going to be 100, but it can be adjusted up or down depending on the overall scores that you're seeing. And so let's say you have if things drop up where people normally getting 80, and that becomes the average. That would then register as 100.
That's exactly my point. Thank you. Because the people are taking the test so much, they're moving the bell curve, man. They're changing the curve. So it's fucking bullshit. And I hate to say it, but we have more people that are stupid in our population than people realize. If you're going off that IQ test, you're fucking wrong.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that don't get taken into account with IQ tests either, as well.
Yeah, a
So
lot of IQ tests have cultural bias.
I did not. The two I took were like the what are they called? They're the two top end, like supposed to be the best ones. There was no, I didn't see any kind of bias in there at all, honestly.
it doesn't really matter. You're still looking at the lack of certain things in these things.
And the bottom line is if you studied logic, of course you're going to pass the fucking test better than somebody who hasn't. So that throws off the curve too. I've never studied logic. I don't know shit about it. And I still got a fucking 135 on both tests. Well, I'm sorry. It was 1 point off, Mage. I lied to you. One was 134, one was 135. But
no big deal. Close enough.
I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just guessed on the whole last section. Because I didn't have a clue, and I pretty much got the whole last section, the whole last like 10 of them or whatever wrong, and I still got a 135.
I have no idea what my IQ is because I always knew they were bullshit, so I never bothered to look at the test results.
Oh, I can guarantee you, Perps, you're at least a 140. You and Mage, all these people I hang out with that are fucking brilliant. No, you guys are all at least a 140. I guarantee it. You don't even have to go take the test. I can tell you that.
Yeah, that actually is my IQ that's come up.
Yeah.
Well, I probably wouldn't do so well on the test anyway. Just because, autistic brain and the way I interpret things, I come up with the wrong answers.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that, like I said, they don't take into consideration. Creativity, they don't take into consideration your emotional state. Maybe you're tired one day when you're taking it. You're more alert at the next. That's going to have an effect on it. So you really can't really quantify it, and the IQ test doesn't really give you an accurate read. So it doesn't really matter. I've had IQ tests that go from like 139 to 145. So,
Ox said I took it. It said I was 113. Think it was broke. No, Ox, you don't understand. IQ tests have nothing to do with how long you were in school or anything, buddy. That has nothing to do with it. It's all about how your brain works. So, as much as you can account for them, I would not go by whatever numbers they like, the percentages, average, blah, blah, blah. That's bullshit. But if you want a general idea of where you stand, a 113 is nothing. There's nothing wrong with that, number one. And number two, I think you're above that because you have had shit for schooling, but your brain doesn't reflect that. Let's put it that way. So I think 113 is low for you.
I'd probably score really low if they tried to score me while I was doing like an anxiety attack or something, because my brain won't function correctly.
Every time I take a test, I get an anxiety attack, Mage. Literally.
Yeah.
Mm.
I panic, I rush, I freak out. I can't keep my mind focused because I'm ADD. Then anxiety kicks in, my heart starts racing, and then the autistic side of it starts having issues, and it's ugly. I've never been a good test taker.
I suppose Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert would take a test and fail.
Well, I mean, they could have a high IQ. That doesn't mean that their thoughts are correct. They could be intelligent people. Now, like, I can tell you right now, Sarah Palin is not as stupid as everybody thinks. Now, like Trump, Carrie Lake, Lauren Boebert, Ron DeSantis, they're all like, if they're 100s, I'd be shocked. They're not very intelligent people. What they have is money. And money has made them skate through this entire world with the lack of intelligence. I can guarantee you if Trump would have went and taken the ASVAB and actually tried to go into the military and they tested him, they would have gave him like a shovel and said, go dig a fucking shit ditch, because that's what he would have been good for. That man has no intelligence. He's a fucking true idiot. He's like an 85 or 90.
Yeah, well, like I said, I don't put much stock into IQ tests. I tend to just completely ignore them because there are a lot of other ways that a person can be intelligent that you're not going to get.
Yeah, and that's the thing is there's a difference between an IQ test and having wisdom or learning things throughout your life or having street smarts or whatever it is. You know, you can IQ. Okay, I know somebody that IQ tested their kid at 5 years old and they got a 142. So it has nothing to do with life experience. It has nothing to do with what you learn. It has nothing to do with the outside influences of your environment and people twisting what reality is and lying to you. It has nothing to do with any of that.
Well, the IQ score is supposed to come out based on people your own age.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Well, yeah, then there's that too, yeah.
Yeah, Leo Buscalia said some of the stupidest people I know have PhDs.
Well, because there's a difference between intelligence and common sense. And common sense is not common. We should just call it sense. Because most people don't have it.
Well, most people only have sense and not enough to make $1.
Yeah. One of the brothers I have left came home from school at 16 years old and looked at my mother and said, "Mom?" She said, "Yes, son." He said, "Common sense is not common. We should just call it sense." And she said, "Agreed." And he walked away.
Yep.
That was the one that had an 142 at 17 years old. Or 141, something. It was over 140. I don't know. Whatever the point of genius level was back then, he was 1 point over it. That's all I know.
Yeah, I think
so whatever number that is.
I think 140 is the thing for getting into Mensa.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. But he came home and said that test is stupid. And I said, that shows how intelligent you are, you asshole. Fuck you. The rest of us probably couldn't even get that score. Which, of course, I was wrong. I probably could have. He knew more about logic at 16 than I ever did.
So, Diane, are you getting settled in there? You know, I see you got your computer desk up.
No, this is Linda's.
Oh.
No, they screwed up the downstairs area. I don't even know where my books are anymore. Let me get up for a minute here.
Yeah, my common sense is tingling. Thank you, Mage. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so rare it's a superpower.
Say again?
Oh, I got Deadpool up saying, "Shh, my common sense is tingling," and it's usually goes along with the meme that says, "Common sense so rare it's a superpower."
Yeah.
Yep.
She agrees. I am the voice of Diana's interpreter.
Sammy's been crushing on Sylvia for years.
What is that character?
I am the ghost of buckwheat.
Because there's the Milk Chan character. You know about Milk Chan?
Yeah, nope. I know about Milk Chan.
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
It's
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in ages. I don't know if I still have it or not. I had recorded copies of those shows. I like the Punishment Missile.
Wait a minute. You said you like the Punishment Missile? What did you say?
Yeah.
It's a weird cartoon.
Okay.
It's very, very strange. A lot of drugs involved.
Probably.
That's
Let's see if I
typical.
can find any good.
I need more drugs in my life. You know what? Speaking of which, I'm gonna pack a fucking bowl. What's it gonna do? Kill me? No, my hard work is killing me. The only reason my other kidney's going bad is because I fell off of a ladder because I was working too fucking hard.
Yeah.
And I'm ADD, and people with ADD hurt themselves and end up killing themselves. And I wish I would have known that when I was 18. I would have, I don't know, done something with my brain instead of hard labor. So all I've been doing all these years since I lost my first kidney in 2005 is beating the shit out of the other one.
There's the main characters from Super Milk Chan. And
I have seen a picture of them somewhere.
The
Okay,
blue-haired,
seen them somewhere.
the blue-haired girl with the antenna sticking up over, that's Milk Chan.
Oh, that's Milk Chan. Okay.
Mm.
So it's basically just a bizarre cartoon,
Yeah, it's just a bizarre cartoon.
but good. I mean, is it a good cartoon? Is it worth me spending time to watch?
You can check it out if you like.
I know.
not sure-
Don't bullshit me, Mage. I got a limited time. No.
I'd probably have to give you a site to go see it because I'm not sure if there's any place that's streaming it, but
I'll look it up.
Speaking of bizarre cartoons, Think Cirrus did recently introduced me to, and now I forget what it's called, but it's human heads in toilets. Oh, what was that thing called? Yeah, that basically it's kind of like a zombie thing, and they're turning all the people into these talking heads in toilets.
Oh, okay. They're talking shitheads.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much like fucking 70% of the politicians. It's just really hard to find that 30% that really give a fuck.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's like so many other things that the people who actually care wind up getting burned out.
Well, because all you're doing constantly is fighting stupidity around you.
Yeah.
I understand that. That's why I'm tired.
then there you have the ones that go in there seemingly with good intentions and then become corrupt.
Well, yeah,
Yep.
just because to keep winning elections, to stay in office or to get a higher office, they have to sell out to some corporation or other just to have the funding to run a campaign.
And there's our problem with this whole thing.
What problem with what? I'm sorry.
There's our problem. It's not left versus right. It's what Purple just said.
Yep.
All corporations buying and selling our politicians. It's the rich versus poor.
Well, unfortunately, how the vicious cycle starts is they need money to get into politics.
Yep.
So someone says, you scratch my left nut and I'll scratch your right one. So they give them money and then they own them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's wrong with our system. You shouldn't have to spend $5 million to campaign. We should do it. Was it Australia or something? They campaign for like 1 month and then there's like a 1 or 2 month break and then people vote. And that's it. There's no bullshit on the TV. There's not a bunch of mudslinging or nothing. That's what needs to happen here. This whole campaigning like it's a fucking sales ad for fucking tampons has got to stop. Because all they're doing is standing up there and fucking lying because they have so much time to fill. If you give them a shorter time span and say, you have these 2 weeks or you have this 1 month to campaign, they're going to fucking quit fucking around. And if they're either going to talk about policies and get elected or they're going to fucking be ignored. So this whole thing with it being a goddamn popularity contest and this guy was on fucking TV and this guy, I saw him and he said he has a big dick and I believe him. It's fucking bullshit. Trump's not running on any policy. I want someone to tell me what he said he's going to do when he goes into office because he's never fucking said a goddamn word except for I hate LGBTQIA. I like more money. That's pretty much all he said.
Yeah, well, none of the Republicans have said anything about any policy. They're all just running on the culture war thing.
None of them are running on policy. And even the Democrats are just paying lip service to it.
Pisses me off. And that's why when I see a Republican or a Democrat who actually talks about what they want to change, I get interested. You know, like, oh, you're talking. You're actually speaking adult words. Okay,
yeah, and then you have our mainstream media who usually suppresses those candidates.
Absolutely do.
And then you also have the party that they're in will also work to suppress them as well.
Well, the mainstream media just doesn't cover them because the nutcases get better ratings.
I'm going to write myself in so I get one vote, my own.
It's not just a better ratings thing. It's the corporate. We've actually had situations where the parties or the corporations backing these parties will say we want this person in, and they'll push that one forward in the media.
Beck,
you know what?
In 2016, that worked. In Pennsylvania, there was a guy who wrote his own name in under the judges, and it turned out that there were more seats open than there were candidates listed on the ballots. So by his one vote, he became a county judge.
Holy shit. But I don't have credentials to become a judge, but I'm smelling what you're stepping in. That's interesting. No, I'm thinking that maybe everybody in the entire United States should just vote for themselves and see what happens. Of course, we need to get to rid of the Electoral College first, which is absolute bullshit. Can I just say that one more time? The Electoral College is absolute bullshit. Because no one votes. No one votes. No, they don't vote for what their people want. They vote for what their party wants. Every fucking time.
Okay, here's a plan. We convince everybody of that idea that everybody just votes for themselves, and then all of us go in and vote for Diana so that she'll have 4 votes and everyone else has 1.
Oh, no, we can get her way more than 4 votes. We can get the entire fucking YouTube community to vote for her. They'll do it.
Well, yeah, you gotta do it on the slide to make sure no one else gets more than 1 vote.
I swear to God, Purple. Put me in office. I am an honest motherfucker. I'll stand right up there and tell everybody the fucking truth, which is why I would never be president.
Yes, I can just see myself standing in front of Congress. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're okay. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Okay, Ox, why are you not allowed to hold public office?
Well, because he's been arrested before. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, that's not necessarily true. It doesn't necessarily disqualify you.
Well, I think he might be able to do lower level office stuff like clerk of the court, but he can't do anything like he can't go for president or he can't be like a governor or whatever.
No. There is nothing that prevents a convicted felon from being president. That's why
you assaulted a police officer. Okay.
That's why Trump could still run even if he's convicted.
It'll depend on what he's convicted of.
Here's a funny thing I want everyone to know. I was watching a law show yesterday, and they were a couple of lawyers discussing Trump's case. And these are like non-biased, never worked for the government fucking lawyers. And so they're just being honest. Because Georgia is a state case, even if they transfer it to federal, which the judge is not letting them do, it doesn't matter. It's still tried as a state case. The only person that can pardon him is the fucking state of Georgia. He cannot go into office and pardon a fucking person. He can't pardon Rudy Giuliani. He can't pardon anybody. Even if he gets into office, he can't pardon a fucking soul because it's not a federal fucking issue. It's a state issue. And if the federal government is not allowed to step on the state's toes, period. Yep, unless it's like something truly unjust.
Well, he's running into the same problem with some of the cases in New York.
Yeah, Ox says he can't work for any city or county office, can't own a gun, and can't travel out of the country.
Yep.
And you know what pisses me off about that, Ox? Is that they say you've done your time and your record is clean, but no, you get punished for the rest of your fucking life for something as small as getting in a fight with a cop who was probably being a dickhead to you. Couldn't vote until a few years ago. North Carolina said voting is okay after so many years. Okay, well, at least you can vote now. That's something. I mean, luckily you're in the right state for that, because a lot of states still do not allow people to. Exactly my point, Ox. Everything that happens in your life, whether it's your fault or someone else's, it follows you forever, and they rub your fucking nose in it over and over again.
Ox, there may be a possibility that you could like petition the court to get your records sealed.
Yeah.
You know, especially if it's been quite a few years since you've had, any interactions with the police.
Yeah, that's true. They can seal it. And... yeah, okay, Ox. Touche. I mean, if you did what you did, you're manning up and admitting it, then that's cool. See, the things that have gone wrong in my life is it's been other people's actions that have fucked me over my entire fucking life. My entire fucking life. I have never, the most I've ever done is when I was young and starving, I stole some shit to survive. That's the worst I've ever done in my life. I've never beaten anybody I've been with. I've never, I've cheated on one person of mine. That's the big thing I've ever done. I stole to survive, and I cheated on one person in my entire, that's my list of bad things. Everything else I've done in my life has been for the good, whether it's me or someone else, and it's usually someone else. And I sacrifice for them.
I've got a conviction from 30 years ago.
Really?
I got a conviction from 30 years ago for writing a bunch of bad checks because, we didn't have any money and you need to survive.
Exactly. But that's how it is. I end up fucking pregnant because I was raped. Thought abortion was wrong because that's how I was raised, so I didn't get an abortion, which I'm glad. My son he's a decent guy, although he's a horrible son, but that's fine. I'm a horrible fucking parent. So I give birth, hand over the baby to a temporary foster care, which was actually the pediatrician's wife. She took in babies until they could get placed into like homes and stuff. I go off to the Army a week and a half after having my child. I go off for 2 weeks for AAT with the National Guard. I come back. There's a lock on the door. I can't get into my own house, and an eviction notice on the door. The girls were letting me live with me to help them stole my money of my rent for 3 months. Because remember back then in like 90-ish, purple 91, and we would go pay the people with cash at the front desk. Well, I was pregnant and I was sick and I wasn't eating right. And I had to stay in the AC because it was Florida. So I'll take it down for you. They stole 3 months of my rent, which at the time was $500, which was a lot. I had a really nice 2-bedroom apartment I got so they could live with me and I could help them. So they could not work and they ate all my food. In the last 2 months of my pregnancy, I was fucking broke and I was eating rice. And my child came out skinny as fuck. Healthy, but skinny as fuck. So then I come back and I'm homeless. All my stuff is stolen except for my old raggedy clothes, a microwave, and an old stereo that barely worked. They stole everything. So I was on the street. Oh, I was on the street in a broke down car because they used my car while I was gone, and they fucking ran it in the ground, and it started leaking oil. And they didn't do anything. So a girl that I was well, actually not a girl, a woman who was a very kind person who I was in the National Guard with, took me to her house for 2 weeks. I was going to stay with her for a little longer, but they transferred her back to Germany. So she went bye-bye via the Army. She did fix my car for me and took me to the doctor because something was wrong. I thought I had lung cancer. Turned out I had pleurisy. But when they came out and said, oh, we got to wait a little while for your x-ray, but we don't know if it's pleurisy or lung cancer. And they left me sitting in the waiting room for like an hour and a half, just thinking I'm about to die. So that happened at the same time. Then she went off to Germany. I ended up living in my car. And a buddy of mine took me to the bar. I was parked literally 200 feet from the bar we all used to hang out at. And he was walking by and saw me and brought me to the bar for a drink and was like, what's going on, man? You know, what's wrong? So I was telling him what was going on. And the bartender's like, hey, you need a job? I need an employee. And I said, fuck yeah. So I started sleeping in the bar. I was like, this is amazing. I'm sleeping inside, you know. I had a little thin foam mattress that was like 2 inches thick, but it was fucking better than sitting up in your car because my back seat was full of fucking shit, just clothes and crap. So I couldn't even like lay back. I had nowhere to put anything. So I started doing that. I worked with him for about 3 weeks. He said, you know what? You're like family now. Why don't you just go ahead and crash on my couch? And then he tried to rape me. So literally, this is my life. And this is how it's gone from the fucking moment I hit like 18 years old and my mom died. This has been my entire life. Every story is basically that, just switched around a little bit. Somebody uses me, somebody raped me, somebody got me drunk, somebody raped me. I've been raped like 7 fucking times. And all I was being the entire time was a nice, good person. So, yeah, fuck it. Fuck it all. And people wonder why I'm frustrated. You work your ass off. You end up with nothing. People use you and abuse you and rape you and steal from you, and they thrive. So because I cannot be a bad person, I am doomed to fail. I am doomed to end up in a fucking nursing home in some fucking shithole place that's for welfare people because I don't have money. And nobody's going to fucking help me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to end up, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to end up like with either Mama Deb taking care of me or at my sister's house, living with her, my brother-in-law, who I fucking despise that asshole. Because I'm going to have nobody to take care of me. I'm going to have no money. Because over and over again, you know, I get fired because somebody doesn't like me. I get fired because somebody doesn't like me. I get fired because somebody triggers my PTSD and now it's my fault. I get fired because someone attacks me and for like physically attacks me. And I get angry and blow up a week later. And I get fired. But it's okay that they attacked me. It's fine.
Yeah, I feel I'm facing the same situation, even as it is now. You know, I wouldn't make it month to month if I couldn't get the rent subsidy. So if I ever, you know, wind up with something that I can't take care of myself day to day, or I need ongoing medical care, yeah, I'm just going to wind up in a home somewhere because there isn't anyone who's going to take care of me.
Yeah. Like literally the only chance I would have is either my sister or maybe my brother Bruce, but he's 11 years older than me and he has health problems. So he might be dead before me. When he's really healthy. So that's good. And she's always got a spare room in her house. And even Phil would hate it because we fucking despise each other. But yeah, she would do it for me. She's probably the only one that would. I don't even think my son would take care of me. I just don't think he would. He's very, very selfish like his father.
Yeah, I've got a list of medical conditions, but none of mine are likely to be fatal, so I'm likely to slowly degrade, but still outlive everyone I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not to change the subject from such a cheery subject here, but I'm watching Molly eat Twitch in her sleep. She's having the dream.
I love it when my cats do that, man. My male cat, he lays in front of the door, right? And I'll have the screen door closed. And he's looking out and he's looking at birds and shit. And then he'll lay down and fall asleep. And he always is chasing something right after he does that. If he falls asleep by that door, his feet are always twitching. And you can see him, he runs a little bit and pauses. And he runs a little bit and he pauses. And he's fucking sneaking up on something. And then the big jump happens, and their feet do the big leap because they're cats and they pounce on shit. It's funny.
Yeah.
I love watching.
Well, when he's sleeping, he's just processing whatever he's been watching.
Right, exactly. So yeah, he's just thinking about the birds and shit. Exactly.
Yeah, well, she looks like she's having a happy dream. I see the little mouth smile, and then it looks like her legs are twitching, so it looks like she's running after something.
Hell, you don't know, man. She could just be running through the fucking forest.
Or she could be at the dog park.
Knowing her, she's probably chasing a squirrel.
Yep.
Oh, she's a squirrel lover, huh?
Oh yeah, she loves. I have very hard time controlling her when she sees a squirrel when they take her for walks.
Yeah, the dog we had when I was a teenager always chased the squirrels. And one day, walking him in the alley, he actually caught one. And he's got it pinned to the ground, and he looks up at me like, now what do I do?
I suspect that's what probably Molly would do if she ever actually caught one.
It never occurred to him what would happen if he actually caught one. So he let it go, and it scampered up the telephone pole.
She has managed to corner one before. It was in my neighbor's in my neighbor's little area. It was sort of garage area, but it doesn't have a door or anything. And she chased into that, and the thing was just bouncing around, not knowing what to do.
Guys, I'm gonna go. I kind of brought myself down.
Oh, well,
come on, everything from yesterday's kind of hitting me right now.
Yeah, I probably can't make your stream tomorrow because
it's today.
Oh, you're doing it tonight?
Yeah, I switched to Sundays because I was working. I don't know if I'm working or not.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all right because tomorrow night my trans support group is meeting to do some planning for a Pride festival we're gonna have.
Yeah,
that's great, Purple. That's great.
I've got my movie night on Tuesdays now for still at 9 p.m. Eastern. So come on in.
Okay, yeah.
No,
I'm doing 4:20 Eastern on Sundays now.
Yeah, you'll see check out the if you ever want to see the movies, pop in. You'll see the link about an hour ahead of time.
Yeah, I should. I was working so late, Mage. I wasn't even getting home until 45 minutes to an hour into your stream, and I was so tired I was just going to bed. So that's why I wasn't.
What was Diana saying there?
I love you too, Diana.
Okay.
All right. Actually, I'll see you guys later. I'll be on here in an hour and a half. So I'm gonna go.
I should probably get going too because I wouldn't mind popping in at some point.
Wait.
Yeah,
you're starting in just an hour and a half.
Yeah, 2:20 my time. Or no, wait a minute. Yeah, it's an hour and a half from now. Yeah, 4:20 Eastern.
Okay.
So it should be 3:20 your time. Right.
I'll probably have to leave at some point during your stream, seeing as I'll have to go take care of the chickens and walk Molly and all that. But
you're always welcome to pop in and out, Mage. You always got a spot in my stream every day.
Yeah,
cool. I love you guys. I'll see you guys soon.
I still gotta go upstairs and check on the girls then, so I'll have to.
Yeah, I need to stretch my legs if I'm gonna be sitting here for another who knows how long.
I'm not allowed to stretch my legs. It would upset the cat.
So see you around. Diana, you're going to be left with an empty stream going on in a few minutes here.
Oh, well, everybody have fun and try not to be too moo.
Well, we want to make sure that you're still taking care of yourself the best you can.
I don't know. Maybe if I do it right, maybe I can die tonight.
Okay, well, you want to close off the stream here then if everybody's going?
Okay, well, I want to thank everybody who's here and want to thank everybody who's not here. Oh, God. Oh, my, oh, my, oh, my, oh, my, oh, my. I am old. And thanks a lot, troops. See you on the other side.
Later, all.
Later.
Oh, my. Where are we?
Diana clambers back up on to her computer here.
I have to find my cursor. That's what I have to do. There we go.